Guys, in this video, I'm going to break down a simple 4-step procedure so you can deal with any difficult seller when it comes to wholesaling real estate. But before I get into it, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. So you're probably watching this video because you've either dealt with a difficult seller or you're fearful of dealing with a difficult seller. And I'm here to tell you, it's going to happen. There's no way to avoid it. And it's better I prepare you for it than having you sit there and go, I don't know what to do. People will be difficult by nature. That's just who they are. But I want you to understand, when people are difficult, it usually indicates they have some sort of fear or they don't have trust in you. Your job is to overcome it with the best of your ability. Rule number 1, don't take it personally. It's just stuff happens during the day. People have children, people have jobs, people have obligations, and sometimes have a bad day just like you do. So number 1, don't take it personally because it's not an attack on you. It's just a frustration of what's happening in life. So what I like to do when I have difficult people and I recognize it is number 1, just be aware of it. And mostly what I want to do is disarm it. See, because if you engage conflict, it gets nowhere. A tick for tack is never going to work, and it definitely doesn't work in wholesaling. So I want you to disarm it. The easiest way to disarm any seller is simply say this. You ready for this? Hey, Mr. Seller, I don't want you to worry about it. I am here to help you out, and I'm going to help you get your house sold even if I'm not the buyer. See, I just go in with, I want to help the seller. Remember, I am serving the seller. I am guiding the seller. And when they realize, I'm like, wait a minute, you'll help me out even if you don't buy it? Yes. It tends to disarm them. Make sure you do that up front and don't take it personally. It is not an attack on you. It's just an attack on the frustrations in their life. And the worst thing you can do is mirror that behavior. So I like to disarm it. Hey, I'm here to help you, even if I don't buy your house. What's that do? It reopens the conversation. So at some point you qualified this seller, they checked certain boxes, and you decided to meet with them in person or on the phone. And I'm here to tell you, something's changed since you qualified them. So the first thing I want to do is step number 1 is just re-qualify the seller. I want to find out if anything has changed. Now, a lot of times, sometimes they talk to a realtor, they talk to a neighbor, they talk to a friend, and this leaks in insecurities, and those insecurities are part of the frustrations when sellers get difficult. Guys, it happens all the time. I want you to prepare for it. Remember, the goal of any type of appointment when it comes to wholesaling is really progress your seller to a final outcome. Preferably yes, but sometimes no is okay because I don't waste time. So I'm specifically going to target an MCTP, the time frame, because this is usually the separator to find out if they're wasting your time. Mr. Seller, if I buy your house, how soon you want to get this done, or do you have a place to already move to? And I want to reestablish that one right away to see maybe they want to stay in the home, maybe they change their mind, maybe they want to wait 6 months. So I like time frame because it usually tells me right away what's going on. And by going straight to the time frame one, I can reaffirm quickly as anything changed on that, because that's going to have the quickest impact on if they become difficult and they want to kind of weasel out of the contract. I want to find out what's changed. So just go back, MCTP it, and go through it and specifically focus on time frame. That's step number 1. You have to requalify. And here's what you're really trying to requalify. Do they want to sell or do they need to sell? Hopefully at this point you establish they need to sell. Maybe something's got in their head, maybe a neighbor, as I said, a realtor. There's usually something that's changed when they were somewhat easy or they were difficult. But regardless, I have difficult sellers up front. It always comes down to qualification, because guys, I'm here to tell you, if you're going to sit there and try to convince and sell someone your wholesale process that just wants to sell, you are wasting your time. And honestly, you couldn't have the greatest salesperson on earth change that person's mind. Remember, in wholesaling, it's a yes or no. You have to guide them, you have to educate them, and you have to nudge them along the process to get a final outcome. Remember, you're going to get more no's than yeses. I'm okay with that. It's when they become difficult and you can't get answers, that's when we requalify and we go back through this process. So reestablish, make sure they need to sell. Maybe they came up with some money. Maybe Uncle Ned loaned them some money. Maybe something's changed. Maybe they got their job back. It's important, because if I can't get to the truth, I can't get a great wholesale deal. Step number 2 is you have to reconnect with them. Yes, You're going to have to go back and build your rapport. Something has fallen apart. The armor has broke and you have to find a way to mend it. So now you just got to go back and reestablish your rapport building skills just as you would. I would start backtracking. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to forget the real estate and I'm going to try to find commonality. Because if you can't get commonality, you're not going to get a good wholesale deal. Because if they don't like you, they're probably not going to sell to you a good price and they're most likely going to be difficult. So they're telling you up front they don't trust you. You're going to have to find a way to earn it back. I always start with commonality. I look around the house. I look at the notes in my CRM, see what's common. I look on social media. I got to find a connection, maybe a football team, a sports team, maybe a hobby, whatever it is. Find that connection because it makes it so much easier to connect and build rapport with people. So you guys, because if you don't go back and reestablish the rapport with a difficult seller, all you are is an order taker. And an order taker is what we call just a strict cash buyer. These are the people we're going to sell to. You being an order taker takes all your skills away as a wholesaler. And if you just go yes, no, and they try to pound you to the price, you're going to get run over. So if they're being difficult up front, they're like, Rick, just get to the price, Just tell them, listen, have you ever bought a car without looking at it? I got to look at the car. I've got to look under the hood and I got to understand the process. Do you mind if I just ask a few questions so I can get you the best offer I can provide you? And once again, I'm trying to disarm them, even though I've already done this before. Something's changed, and if I don't connect with that rapport, there's no point in moving on with this wholesale deal. See, a lot of people think you can do wholesaling without connecting to people, and that's a big mistake, because if you don't have a connection with them, you're just a number to them, and they're going to treat you as such. There's no loyalty. They're never going to give you the best price because you're just shopping with a number. We as wholesalers, we solve problems, and if you can't find a solution, it's going to be problematic. And now you're at that phase where you got to get past the stranger danger. And you thought you did that initially and it changed. So open it up. This is where you have to be authentic. Expose yourself. Be the funny person. Give a great quote that applies to them and their hobby, their family, their sports team, whatever it is. But this is, if you can't get past stranger danger, it's going to be really hard to close your wholesale deal. So ask permission to get back in there and ask questions and open up the conversation. You see, because at the end of the day, step number 3, sellers only need 2 things from you, the wholesaler. You ready? They need to trust you. And guys, how do we establish trust? We do it through connection. When people connect, when I know a roofer and I have a leak on my roof, I just call my friend the roofer. I don't have to shop it around. Remember, if you shop it around, it's usually just a number and people wind up being order takers. That's just human nature. They're lazy. So we've got to reestablish that trust. We open up the rapport building and we go back and find that commonality to earn that trust. Trust is always earned in wholesaling. It is never given. And sometimes with sellers, they lose trust in you. Either they read an article, they talked to a neighbor, they talked to a realtor, they might have talked to another wholesaler, and you got to go back and reconnect. And here's another little hint. If you could ever do this belly to belly, it's much more effective. So if you're in a local market and you lose trust and they're like trying to get out of the deal, I try to go belly to belly, meaning in person as opposed to doing it over phone, and definitely never on a text. The second thing all sellers want is they want a solution. Like that's the main thing why we're there for. They usually have a problem. Their house is in foreclosure, the house is in probate, the house is on code violation, the house is behind on real estate taxes, and they want a solution. And most of the solutions include some sort of certainty, like let's get it done. You see, if you can't solve a problem for a seller, there's no point in them working with a wholesaler. So number 1, we have to establish trust. We find common ground. We build rapport. We create a connection to show we're trustworthy. Step 2, you actually have to solve their problem. I know it's overwhelming, but if you just think you're going to put in an order and put in a price for a property and get a contract, you're not a wholesaler, you're a cash buyer. And our skill set, number 1, is marketing and locating, and number 2, connecting with them. So I need you to reestablish that trust. How? You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to work and ask questions. You're going to have to be highly involved. Be present, be there. Number 2, while you're establishing that trust, find the solution. You're like, Rick, how do I find the solution? Well, that leads us to step number 4, which is there a real objection with this difficult seller? Because I find often some new obstacle comes up that's made them uncomfortable and they've lost trust because they got opposing information and you haven't had your side to show them what's going on. And I like to be brutally open with sellers when we do this. And so when they've gone like really, really good and suddenly it's completely changed, I need to find out what their real objection is here. And it's simple. You're going to have to get behind the real estate and get to the story, because it's rarely ever the real estate. It's always the drama behind the story. What's the story? What changed? Did you get your job back? Did Uncle Fred loan you $30,000 I don't know about? Did you guys stay? You decided you wanted to stay in the property. You see, the sooner we get to the truth, the easier this deal becomes. The more you get away from the truth, the more you're going to waste time, they're going to get more difficult, and you're going to get frustrated. So how do you get to the story? By opening up that rapport, that connection. Because listen, people don't want to open up and tell you what's really going on unless they trust you. And it's your job to earn people's trust. How do you know they trust you? When they start telling you something painful in their life. And honestly, I've rarely met a wholesale deal that does not have pain behind the story on it. What do I mean? Loss of job, loss of life, loss of a loved one, loss of people's pride. Guys, people have to be vulnerable, and the only way they can be vulnerable if they trust you. Now, a lot of times, as I said, a third-party influence is a lawyer, a realtor, something like that, and find out what the objection is, bring it to the surface, and now you are going to attack it. You have to solve that problem. You see, a lot of time when people shut you out or they say no, they're just telling you, number one, I don't trust you, and number two, you're not providing me enough information. That's your job. Own it and take responsibility for it. So once I can get that pain out and I get behind the story, I have an objection and I can classify it. So if it's price, if it's something legal, or I don't understand this, or I need an additional month to move, then I can start working on a solution. And the final process is, and I can go back in what I call a trial close. Hey, Mr. Seller, if I could do this for you and I could give you more flexibility on the closing date, would that make you more comfortable for us to move forward with our deal? You see, a lot of times we just think difficult is the objection, and the reality is we missed something, or something has changed since we last talked to them. So we have to go through this process. Now, I'm going to leave you with the last little trick here. Sometimes everything I just told you won't work with a difficult seller. Don't be surprised. The biggest fear you have working with a difficult seller is they're wasting your time. And it is imperative you get to the truth sooner or later, because the last thing you want to do is dance with the seller for up to like a year to find out they're just using you to get information. They're leveraging you for offers, and they never had an intention to sell you. It is your job always to pull that out. I've always told you every lead you have in wholesaling must progress. Now, other people call it a sales process. I call it a guiding process, because there's no magical answer to get someone to say yes or no. But there has to be finality. And the first thing I want to do is eliminate people that are going to waste my time. And we do it through the qualification, the requalification. But if you get to the end and people frustrate you, and there are people that will do it, remember, you're never an order taker. An order taker is a cash buyer, and that is not a wholesaler skill set. Our skill set's always in marketing and connecting with sellers. If you can't get anywhere and you've gone through all the things I've given to you in this video, I need you to try what I call a Hail Mary. Why? Because I can't sit there forever and dance with a difficult seller. Either they need to sell their house, or they're just wasting my time by wanting to. And if I've gone through and I've used my patience, I've disarmed it, I don't mirror them with hostility that they've given to me, and I can't get anywhere at the end, and maybe I'm on my third or fourth try, Hail Mary it. I need you to throw out a shocking statement to see if we can get behind the truth and get the subconscious answer of what the heck is going on here, why they're so difficult. And I goes just like this. Hey, Mr. Seller, have I done something to piss you off? Because it seems like you just don't like me at all. And I just shut up and I listen to the response. And either they're intrigued by what you say, or they're even more ticked off. My idea is, if they're completely wasting my time, I want them to give me their subconscious feelings, which is, Rick, hey, I was just going to use you. I was never going to sell you the property. And hey, I have my answer. It's no, I can move on. And then you can put them in a long-term follow-up, whatever you want. But sometimes you've got to press people to decide if you want to spend more time on them, because you are not paid by the hour. You're paid by your productivity in wholesaling. And sellers will be difficult. There is no question on that. But you want to go through this 4-step phase to make sure what's changed with the seller. Can I get behind the story and get to the pain? And can I do trial closes? And I just kind of tested with Mr. Seller, if I could go ahead and extend that contract 30 days, can we move forward with our deal? Or hey, if I have to give you another another $3,000. Can we just go ahead and move forward the deal? Make sure you get that signature on the spot. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. My guiding process by educating and massaging every lead is a closing process. The only difference is you have to provide truth to your seller and you have to provide a solution. And at the end, they won't do any of it. Go for the Hail Mary, just like I taught you. Guys, are you dealing with difficult sellers? It is inevitable. They're always in wholesaling in any part of real estate. These are human beings. And if you've ever had this problem, let me know in the comments how you've dealt with them. Which step do you go back to? I would love to hear from you. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, maybe share this video with someone who wants to find the truth out about wholesaling. This is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video.